You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with John, Alex, and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a product of Sack of Sin Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other podcast locations. Or check us out at sackofsin.com or heypalwhatsnew.com. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. John, Alex, and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like
The Multiverse Fancast.
You have been warned.
I can't talk about that.
Fucking the ones I had were ghouls.
Dude. Ghouls.
It's a motherfucking ghoul, y'all.
Boo. It's a fucking ghoul.
Oh, God. Back in the day. Let me just...
Back in the days when I was young.
Damn it, we're old. I don't think we're going to talk about that, but we were back in the day.
The marching band Sexcapades.
Oh, my God. Boo.
Let's just say wipe it on the seat.
Wipe it on the seat. Then there's the we're in Florida, and you never got to see your classmates, your female classmates, in bikinis because we're all at the pool, and of course I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. And like, we won't say who it was, but there was one girl actually at that age. She had a white bikini on, and you could see like
Right through
muff.
it. Yeah.
Was that Mike Stolberg? Bird's eye view of the muff. But hey, everybody, it's Hey Pal, What's New? I'm Greg, and that's John Alex
That's
over there.
right.
All of a sudden, it became summertime. It's like
shit.
70-something degrees.
Dude, it's going to be like 80 degrees tomorrow.
I got to put in my AC already.
Oh, fuck.
It's hot. Turn up the AC Slater.
I don't have no
Delish.
AC. I got a fan and an ice cube.
It's fucking hot as balls upstairs, but then downstairs it's pretty warm. Like today, I had the windows open. Everything was hunky-dory.
Yeah, and then you went upstairs for the Chooch report.
Going upstairs for the Chooch report. The Chooch report is where it's at. Yeah, Chooch.
What was old Dot's chooching about today?
Now
now that she's back, I love hearing what she's chooching about.
Let's see. What the Chooch this week was, well, she couldn't find the Mets game. She couldn't log into
Lucky.
SN, which, you know what? I'm going to defend the Chooch on this one because I was going to bring it up before we got a mic, but like baseball games, like you remember when we, talk about.
Back in the days when I was young.
Damn it, we're old. Like when we were kids, the Mets were always on 9.
Right.
And the Yankees.
I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Not in my house.
And the Yankees were always on 11.
11.
Right? WPIX.
WPIX. Picks.
Picks. Who just shoot like
scam.
this. But now.
Never mind the Eiffel Tower. Let's do a picks.
Yeah, picks. Like somebody behind the scenes was like, "Fuck you guys." Oh, you didn't win. But nowadays, I swear to God, I could read it off my MLB app. It is on a different platform every day.
Yep.
So one day it'll be on Fox. You're like, "Oh, cool." Next day it'll be on Apple TV Plus. The next day it's on SNY. The next day it's on fucking Peacock. You're like, "What the fuck?"
You know why?
Why?
They want you to buy the MLB pass for like $200 and something that you can watch any game and just go to it.
I can get, if I lived in fucking Utah and I wanted to see the Mets game, sure, I would freaking, I'm representing today with my Mr. Met hat. I would represent, I would freaking get the MLB package, but we live in New York.
Right.
Every day it's on a different fucking platform. And my poor 76-year-old mother is like,
oh boy,
who loves watching the Mets every day. She's just like, I'm like, what? She's like, I can't, SNY. She's trying to get on the SNY app that's on the Apple TV. But I was like, Mom, the reason you have the SNY app was from when you were down in Florida.
right.
SNY, the reason you have it for free is because you have it on the regular cable. That's impossible. Click. Look, it's the Mets game.
Oh,
She's
shit.
like, oh, that's so annoying. But yeah, stuff like that. What else was the chooching? There wasn't. I can't pick a specific chooch. Usually it's like, because my daughters were over this weekend, and my mom has a big thing about when the TV's on, like if you're on your phone.
Yeah.
Get off your phones. Why are you always on your phones? Get off your phones. I'm like, Mom, what is the difference between me looking at this and you looking at that big fucking screen over there? It's the same thing. You're looking at the big screen. I'm looking at the little screen. I can multitask. You cannot.
Well, yeah. Well, that's where I always say the phone. We always talk about the phone factor. When you're watching something, what's the phone factor?
Yeah. If I'm watching the Mets game, which, by the way, they fucking pulled it off at the end. It was a great game.
Pulled it off.
I pulled it off. But, you know, if the St. Louis Cardinals are up, I'm just like, okay. Oh, what did they do? Oh, the Mets are up now? Okay, I'll put it up. Like that. Like,
Okay.
you know, but then Zoe's on her phone. You know, she's trying to figure out college and all that stuff. But, yeah, but my mom, the Chooch Report, I will start writing it down. My aunt did say when my mom was in Florida, she started writing down the Chooches because she wanted to give it to me when she came back. Like, here's all the Chooches. She's like, I ran out of ink.
Oh, shit.
She's like, Gregory, I started writing down the Chooch Report, but so I will definitely make for next week. If you would like that to be a segment, we will write a Chooch Report jingle and write down the ones.
Nice.
I got to remember the ones that are just like, because it all just blends. Like my other favorite one is we have 3 cars at the driveway, so
Yes.
it's like boom, boom, boom. You park all 3 together.
Yeah.
My mom decides to just park like in front of the garage, like in a corner, and just never. I was like, just pull it right next to the other 2. Well, she has something in the car, and she doesn't want. So another jingle I sing is, "Why do you park like a jackass? Why do you park like a fucking fool?"
All right, I can get on board with that.
Why I'm not writing jingles for fucking NBC is beyond me.
I think it's you. Somebody sends me those songs every now and then off of TikTok where people are like, I just sat on my balls today.
Yeah.
It's like a country song about it or a different genre. Just someone singing what sounds like it could be a song from that period in that genre.
Yeah,
They're talking about like, you know, I got kicked in the nuts by a donkey.
I've seen those. I'm like, is that real?
hilarious.
Like they have covers and everything.
Yeah. It's like those books, you know.
Yeah, I'm always constantly
the
writing
fake
jingles.
little golden books.
Yeah. My ruined childhood. I
Ruined
freaking
Childhood.
love those. But yeah, thinking that and oh man, I was just thinking of something. Oh, just the jingles of why do you park like a jackass? And then my favorite one is, I think I told you this one too. It was like, there's a town that you live in. It's called Silencio.
I sing that one of my students all the time. There's a town you should go.
There's a town that you live in. It's called Silencio. Quiet.
I got to throw the quiet on at the end.
Hey, there's the chickie.
My students get mad at me. I do that all the time.
Yeah, just, you know.
Not that I had to see much of them this week.
That's good.
Because there was no school Monday, no school Tuesday. I woke up Wednesday fucking just... I was like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm not going to work like this.
Yeah, since we are doing the Hey Pal, what's new? What's new with you there,
That's what's new with me.
Sasquatch?
That's what's new with me.
Just shit in your pants?
Well, and then I went to school like Thursday and Friday, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be nice out on Friday, so we're gonna have our last 2, evacuation drills." So I'm telling my class, I'm like, "Look, it's gonna be between periods 5 and 6," and they're like, "What? Why do we have to have a fire drill? What the hell? This is bull. Why do we gotta leave? What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "Dude, you just got to. Where do I go? Where am I supposed to go?" I go outside. And they go, "But how do we go? Which doors?" I'm like, "It's between periods." So you'll be left this room and on your way to your next class. And when the fire alarm goes off, go, ooh, where's the nearest door?
That's what you're supposed to
That's what you're supposed to do. Where's the nearest door?
I feel sorry for these kids. They don't fucking know how to get out of
and
the
then
building.
and then she's like, they're like, well, where do we go? When we go out the door, which way do we go? Where do we go? I go, just follow the crowd.
Yeah.
Just follow the crowd. There's enough teachers walking that way saying, go, go, go. I was like, you're in high school. Is this like your first fire drill?
Yeah, I don't get it. We used to have fire drills all
That's
the
what
time.
they were chooching about.
Yeah, they're chooching about fire drills.
Chooching about having to go outside for a fire drill. I said, well, maybe if you came to school in clothes and not your pajamas.
Yes.
Just throwing that one out there.
PJs all day. That's my daughter Violet. She fucking all she wears is freaking.
They got slippers.
Tank
Like,
tops
ew,
and
but the
fucking-
ground is wet, and they got my slipper. I was like, well, wear shoes to school, you dumb.
Just do shoes. And then now it's gonna be freaking
My blood pressure. I gotta watch
hot
it.
as hell. They're gonna be wearing fucking
At my age,
up the butts, as we call them.
up the butts.
Yeah, they just did the jeans that are like fucking up their
Oh, yeah.
assholes. Now, what is the thing too? Not that I'm complaining, but these yoga pants now that actually show cheeks. Have you seen these?
Yes, I have.
Dear Lord, there's nothing to the imagination.
Oh.
I like a nice roundy. I don't need to see the fucking actual turd cutter. I don't need to see it.
I like to see the turd cutter.
Sometimes you
Not
do.
that I'm checking out a lot of people in yoga pants.
Yeah, but you
But
see
that
it.
guy at the supermarket now, him.
Oh, wow, he's good times.
He got the fucking turd cutter and the male camel toe.
Yeah. So so your week consisted of diarrhea and fire drills.
Oh, God, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How weird! My week consisted of diarrhea. No fire drills though.
Oh, when was your diarrhea?
My diarrhea was because
What day, though? What day?
it was Wednesday.
Holy shit.
No, it was Tuesday.
Okay, because Wednesday morning was when I had diarrhea.
Well, Wednesday it did go in because I did have the big teaser was that I had my colonoscopy, my first one on Wednesday, and
do tell.
wow, good times, man. I was really actually kind of nervous and anxious about it.
Oh, yeah.
I pleaded for Xanax. Nobody gave me one. I was like,
Damn it.
I'm in a hospital. Can somebody give me Xanax? So this is the whole story. So like in the beginning, you have to do the prep, so you don't eat. It's fucking Lovi. Nice. What's up, buddy? So the first part is that you have to fast for a day,
Yes.
which I was surprised that like if you drink enough Gatorade and water, like you're not really hungry.
No.
I missed the actual method of like putting something in my face, but other than that, I was like coffee and cigarettes all day. It was good
Next time,
times.
give me a call.
A little fucking little tube steak.
Right.
So anyway, so I fasted the whole day. Then 5 o'clock, I worked till 5:30. 5 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I got to start this prep. So I take the Ducalax, take 2 tablets. Then you wait an hour. Then you have to take Miralax, which is that the powder, and I'm pouring it. You doing 8 ounces, which wasn't that bad.
You didn't prepare it beforehand?
No.
Because in one instructions I had, they told you to. They both kind of told you to.
Yeah,
mix it beforehand and then put it in the fridge.
Yeah, they said 32 ounces you could make it, but I was just like, let me just do, because the cap on there was like, if you did a capful, that was 8, so I just did that. Drink it every 15 minutes. And I actually texted you because hours went by. And I'm thinking, and believe it or not, at 53 years old, I've never taken laxatives in my life. I've always been able to shit, I guess. I don't know.
I've never. The only time I have is for, I don't know, shit like this.
Yeah, so I took a bunch of it, and it reminded me of like Wolf of Wall Street when they have the Quaaludes and they're like taking 2, and they're like, oh man, it hasn't kicked in yet. Take another 2. All right, take another 2, and then all of a sudden it hits you at once.
Yep.
Because I texted you 5. I'm like, dude, it's been like 5 hours.
Yeah, it's like with hits of acid.
Yeah, like nothing's.
I've heard.
Yes, so they say. Nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it was like, guess what, pal? Here it comes. And I'm like, and it wasn't like I had to run to the bathroom. My body was just like, you need to sit down. And I go, okay. And then out comes the fireworks. Yes. To the point where the fact that
Wait, you're almost done. You didn't know Manal was recording it, did you?
Well, Manal goes to me. She goes, "Are you peeing?" I'm like, "No, I'm shitting out my asshole right now. It's squirt." And I had a couple, and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, I feel empty, which is nice. Finally, at like 11 o'clock at night, I go to sleep. 4 in the morning, they were like, 5 hours before the procedure, do it again.
Do it all again.
So I'm up at 4, squirting away. 5 o'clock in the morning, squirting away. Can't drink anything after 6. So I'm like, all right. I'm like shoving down coffee and Miralax at the same time, going like, I need to get my fix. So I go, I get all. I'm literally going through it. My mom actually, we turned the table, so I said, you have to drive me. So she's like, okay.
And you thought you were going to be able to drive yourself there?
No. I knew that I needed a ride, but like Manal didn't have to take off work. Like my mom was home, so I was like, guess what? I drove my mom to the doctors constantly. I'm like, now it's your turn. So she's like, okay.
Okay.
So she drives me there, and of course, my mom has bad knees and all that stuff. So, and we didn't have the cripple card, unfortunately. So we pull up to. I had to be there at like 8:30 in the morning. So of course, you couldn't. Like parking was like you had to park all the way down. So my mom's like, I got bad knees. So I said, I dropped her off in the front. I said, let me park the car. I'll meet you in there, and then we'll go up. She's like, okay. So I go, and I think, I must have shit like 5 times.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay. I think that was the last of it at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I drop my mom off the front, drive all the way back. Now I start hustling.
Oh, shit.
I start hustling up to the door because I'm like, it's almost 8:30. I got to be there at 8:30. And then I was like, I think you got to go again. And I was like, ooh, I think I might have. Ooh, shit. Did I catch that? So I'm like, I got my fucking Adidas tracksuit on. I'm like, chariots of fire going. I'm like, let's go in. And we get into the place, and they're like, the bathroom's over there if you need it. You just hang out here. And I'm like, good idea. I fucking run into the bathroom. There's a guy literally standing outside the bathroom, like just a patient waiting. And I am in there fucking like, and I'm like, look, I'm like, I think that's the last of it. Like, it was literally a half hour before I had to go in.
Yep.
And they're like,
In there.
no. So I finally go in, and the nurse was in there, very cool. She asked me all the questions, like, is everything clear? I was like, I literally just shit before I came in here, so I think we're good. I mean, there was nothing in there. She's like, okay. They put me in there. I'm sitting down. I'm nervous. I've never had this done. I'm like, how do I react under anesthesia? I've been a smoker for 30 years.
Ooh.
I'm like, I could have fucking cancer. Who the hell knows? So I'm in there, and I'm nervous, and they were so nice. I mean, Putnam Hospital has come a long way. Like, we used to drive far away just to not go there. Now, they were so nice. They were the woman in there, the nurse, she was like, oh, she goes, all right, so just strip down everything except your socks. I'm like, well, I don't have socks. I just kicked my things off. Like, oh, we'll get you socks. And then she looks at my toes. She goes, oh, nice toes. I'm like, oh, thanks, because I haven't painted.
I'm listening.
They give me the socks. I sit in there, and I'm. Oh, what happened? Oh, he's
I'm frozen, Gregory.
Oh no, what happened?
I don't know. Continue. I'm
Okay,
listening.
all right. So, I know this is a long story, but it's a good tale. So, so the nurse is,
Can we
She goes-
Can we put this up there? I just want to get a look.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do that. Delicious. So, she's like, "What's the?" She's talking to me like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you do for fun? I'm a musician." She's like, "Oh, where do you play?" Blah 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 blah. And she could tell I was nervous because I get that sweat.
Yeah.
So she gave me the ice pack on my head. She's like, "Don't worry, sweetheart, it's gonna be fine." And this other woman comes in, her hair's like out to here, and she's like, "I heard you're in a band. What do you play? Do you play Lynyrd Skynyrd? Do you play Freebird?" I'm like, I've been known to play Freebird once in a while, just to be a dick. Yeah, sure. And she's real sweet. They're all nice. And then they finally
She's like the crazy Barbie.
wheel me in, right? So I'm getting wheeled in, and I'm still kind of like, oh god, and like they're wheeling me. They're really nice. They're like, don't worry about it. You're gonna take an awesome sleep. You're gonna be fine. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. I'm just a little, I've never been put out since I was like 20 years old. So they pull me in, and earmuffs, honey. Every freaking nurse that there had to be like 8, all like 10s, like these like fucking candy striped nurses. They're all coming in there. I'm fucking ass out. I'm on my left side, and she goes, okay, we're just going to give you the stuff, and then you're going to fall asleep, and they put the oxygen thing on. She's like, that might be uncomfortable. I said, it's better than my CPAP, And I'm like, okay. And then she gives me the shot. I'm out, right? I was out apparently for like an hour.
Nice.
For some reason, right before they were done, they decide to wake me up or start getting me out of the anesthesia.
Okay.
So, now, if anybody has done anesthesia, knows that you will say some crazy shit.
Sure.
Just whatever comes to your mind, which I was like, thank God my girlfriend's not going to be there, because God knows if I was like, and I fucked a porcupine once, she'd be like, what? So I'm coming out of the thing, and I could still feel that they're in there.
Oh.
Not like all the way in, but like a good solid, not like a Lexington Steel, but like maybe a fucking Peter North, like about that much inside there. So it was a little pressure, and I could see the screen.
I've heard that before.
And I'm waking up, maybe a Harry Reams, we're not sure. So I'm like waking up, and she's like, I'm like, don't worry, we just had to wake you up. We're still in there. We're still a little pressure in there. You might feel something. I was like, not the biggest thing I've ever had in my asshole before. They all went, what? Here's the guy with the painted toenails with a thing up his ass going, that's not the biggest thing I've ever had up there. Jesus Christ. And they're just like,
Greg's a bear.
okay.
Greggy Bear.
They wheel me out. And let me tell you, it was not bad at all. I left. I was like, all right. I was still a little groggy. I actually went back to work.
Wow.
Like, I got home at like 11:30, and I worked from home, and I was just gonna take the whole day off. And then I was like, I'm looking at my screen, and I'm like, get some shit done. Like, so I typed back in, and they were like, they all knew I was going. Like, how'd it go? I'm like, it was great. They only found 5 polyps. They took those guys out, which is like the size of a piece of rice.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, we did leave one in there. So we could, and I tattooed.
A memento.
Yeah, she's like, we did leave one in there, so when you come back in 3 years, they want me every 3 years instead of 10 because I'm a smoker. They go, we tattooed it on there just so we can monitor it next time we're in there. I was like, did you put your initials on there? Did you put a little heart that says mom?
It's like staking a flag on the moon.
Yeah, and then of course, talk about Chooch Report. They're like, your mother's out there. Can we alert her? Did you want her to come into the recovery room, or do you want? I said, doesn't matter. Yeah, get one done, dude. There's nothing to it. It's good times. The prep sucks, but other than that,
Look,
and even then, it wasn't that bad. I was like, so I'm shitting a lot, and I lost 6 pounds.
I'd rather see the colonoscopist guy than the fucking mortician.
Exactly. So yeah, they were like, your mom, do you want her to come in there? Do you want? I said no. I was like, she went to go get the car. Of course, she chooched about that because she had to walk all the way to get to the car. I was like, well, do you want me to do it?
I'm not supposed to drive.
No, so she pulled up the car. She was really sweet, and then they actually wheeled me down in the wheelchair. Right? Did they give you the big jug? No, they actually. You just go and get over the counter stuff like the Miralax and the Ducalax, and you just drink until you shit.
There's a pill, the one shot pill. My insurance doesn't cover it, so I couldn't get the little one shot pill. And they don't give you the magnesium citrate anymore.
No,
because I guess it causes problems with your kidneys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that stuff was like, let me tell you, a good
Back in the days when I was young.
just a short one. When I was married, my ex was having constipation issues, and she was like, I don't understand. Like, I took stools over, it doesn't work. I was like, you know what you should try? Citrate of magnesia. That stuff's great. She goes, really? And I gave her that. She was puking on her ass for a whole day. She's like, why did you make me take this? I was like, you said you had the shit. Like, that'll work.
You want revenge on someone, get them a big gulp and pour that into it.
Oh, man. But, yeah, it was definitely, Kevin, back in the day, they used to have, I remember when I was a farm tech, they used to have those huge gallon jugs with the powder in the bottom, and you had to drink that whole gallon. Now it's like 8 ounces.
Oh, so
with
you
Gatorade.
got a gallon with all the powder already in it, and you just filled it with like water.
Yeah, and you shook it up, and you drank out of that whole gallon. It was like a huge gallon, and it tasted like butthole. The Miralax was, it tasted fine.
I did mine in Gatorade.
Yeah, and they say don't use the red Gatorade, obviously, because they don't want the freaking shit red. But I used the clear one, the white one. So it was tasty. It was fine. I was like, all right, I'm waiting for the fucking fireworks, and nothing happened, but it did.
Oh, boy.
And I would love to have Tushy as a sponsor because, oh, man, when you're puking out your ass, you just put that little...
Turn the dial.
I didn't even put it on warm. I put it on cold. And sometimes when getting too involved, when the cold dagger of hell shoots up your ass like that, it'll prompt you to go more.
Again.
Yeah. So it did give you the little action. But that was
a little analingus.
So that's for anyone who's wondering about a colonoscopy. I know my bestie over here had his, and you had 3 of them at that point.
Oh,
well, two in a local.
Yeah.
Two in a.
2 in a. Just keep breathing.
Yeah, and my boss was so funny.
Well, I got to go every year now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I'm in a. So far so good. Nothing's bad. They called me the next day. They were like, how you feeling? Just want to let you know. We took her to the lab. Everything's good. You're clear. Blah, blah, blah. She goes, she goes, the doctor after, she goes, well, your asshole was very clear. We could see everything. I was like, oh, yeah. I cleaned that sucker out good.
It's funny.
Between the Tushy and the Miralax, we were fine.
You were saying you don't want to shit red out your ass. Xander walked in the living room today. He's like, hey, Mom, Dad, my pee was green. Is that a problem? I was like, sounds like you got the clap, kid. Kate's like, wait, was it really? He's like, no. And I was like, I did pee green once. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, my piss was green. I was like, granted, that was after I drank like 4 or 5 bottles of Key Lime Mad Dog 2020, which was like antifreeze green.
Oh, yeah.
And I pissed. And I was like, why am I pissing green? And someone was like, what? And I was like, I'm pissing green. They're like, what were you drinking? I was like, Mad Dog. And they're like, oh, well, that's your answer.
Well, there you
just
go.
Pissing out all that green dye. And then he goes, when do I get more of these dad stories?
Dad stories
like,
are the best.
I was like, dude, just listen to the podcast.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you can get all the freaking...
Back in the days.
I mean, you get all of them in here. But yeah, that was my my eventful weekend. Other than that, really, the Splits played their first gig at Earth Day. It was only an hour. Earth Day was fun. You know, it was every time we play that gig, it's like either 110 degrees or 20 degrees, raining, snowing one time. This was a fine 60 and breezy. So I was like, April. All right. And all we played was an hour. And I was like, all right, I'm out. So, yeah, that was my eventful weekend. So I guess we have a little bit of news.
Just a
John, you got any news?
Yeah.
Do ya?
I do. I'm going to file this one under.
Ooh.
If it bleeds, it leads. Mike Binder.
Oh, you know what? I will put that thank you mental note. I did watch a movie. Anyway, go ahead.
Mike Binder, the founding keyboardist of Moody Blues, is dead at 82.
Okay.
And moving on.
And I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Yeah. See how good I can sing? Booking me now. Black Storms become pink clouds. Download it and buy it. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah. Every time I think of Moody Blues, I think of a Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale.
When they're beating the shit out of the colored gentleman.
Yes.
They're just, to that music, you're like, never thought of that song like that, but sure.
Craven. Sony has now announced they are pushing Craven and the Karate Kid reboot back again. Karate Kid was supposed to be this December, and now it's pushed to next year in May.
Mm-hmm.
And Craven, which was originally supposed to be last year in January, and then was pushed to like October, and then pushed to December. No, not December. Then pushed to August of this year, is now being pushed to December of this year.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Sony's got to figure it out. They're fucking, after Madame Web, they're all panicking.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I mean, I remember seeing the Craven trailer, and I was like, it's bloody good, R-rated fun, but doesn't look like Craven that I know.
But the problem is people don't want, like, Sony's interpretation of Craven or, you know, Sony's interpretation of Madame Web. They want the comic book interpretation. Give me a comic book story I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Don't give me this, like, well, this is a whole new reimagining of what he could be like.
Yeah, you know what? And Sony is never going to give up that cash cow.
Nope.
They'll just keep pumping out fucking garbage.
Even if, you know, there was it Screen Crush who did the whole thing? Like, does Marvel have a court case because Sony is really hurting?
Yeah.
Their brand.
I remember
with
that.
This
yeah.
shit. You're putting out all this shit. It's hurting the brand. You know, Marvel might have grounds to take Sony to court and be like, we need this back. You have to give it back to us because they're just hurting the brand with the shit that they're pumping out.
Yeah, it's just, well, it's the IP, man. They're still getting those big cuts from even, you know, No Way Home, all the Tom Holland ones. They get more than Marvel for those, even though Marvel's doing it. So why give that up? I always say, like, the best solution, I think, for that is because, you know, the Spider-Verse movies, the animated ones with Miles Morales, those are the big fucking ones. So you know what it is? It's like, oh, why, thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, by the way, Rob, I was your buddy over there posted on Facebook some old videos of your old band Lady Nicotine I was watching. Oh, yeah, it was good times for my brother.
Well, you know, that's what our old English teacher, Mr. Chris Del Campo, used to tell me.
Oh, Lady Nick. Well, I had a coach.
About the radio voice.
Oh, the radio voice.
Not only do I have a voice for radio, but I have a face for it as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now there's YouTube.
Shit.
So what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I mean, they should just... Sony should keep the animated rights to Spider-Man. Yeah. Let them do the Miles Morales stuff.
Because they do a great job with it.
Yeah. You know, they do have, as much as people go, oh, Madame Web and fucking Morbius, it's like, well, they did put out the Spider-Verse movies. So, you know, they did put out the Tobey Maguire ones, which were great. And that was one thing I saw in the news, too. Sam Raimi's name has been tossing around for, like...
Dude, don't fucking tell me, because... What? We just had this conversation with Laura today because she came over the house because, well, it doesn't matter why. She's going out to see John and Andy play tonight at some place, some fucking bar place. Yeah. They're doing an acoustic set, the two of them together.
Okay.
In attendance will be Dennis Dunaway from Alice Cooper.
Oh, okay.
And most likely Sam Raimi, who has been Andy's best friend since they grew up together.
Wow, the
Yeah.
Rames.
Andy has been in like a whole bunch of Sam's movies, Raimi's
Okay.
movies, because they've been best friends since they were kids.
Oh man, I would love to meet Sam
And he's
Raimi.
probably going to be there tonight. And Laura's like, I don't know who these people are. And I was like, you're hurting me.
Yeah.
You hurt my soul.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, because his name's been thrown around because I guess him and Kevin Feige are like buds.
Yeah.
And even though like Multiverse of Madness wasn't like critically, it did well. So they're like, well, maybe we get him to do Tom Holland's new Spider-Man, or maybe he's thrown in like 3 movies right now. Tobey's next Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire to do a proper Spider-Man 4,
Okay.
Tom Holland Spider-Man,
Okay.
or Secret Wars. Because Secret Wars, could be batty enough, could be Raimi enough where it was crazy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fucking Battle World, like, so the speculation is out. And they did say, I was listening to something on the way here where Raimi was like, no, I have no plans. I'm not doing anything right now. And they're like, everybody's like doing the old fucking Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. He didn't say no. He didn't say he wasn't doing anything. He said, I'm not doing anything right now. So who knows, man? That would be interesting. Out of those 3, which one would you want to see the most? Would you want him to do a Tobey,
Okay.
a Tom
are we
Holland,
talking
or a
like
Secret Wars?
Toby's all grown up, got a family, got kids, Spider-Man?
Yeah, like a continuation, because like when
Yeah.
No Way Home,
Yeah.
when he came back, he was with MJ. He was
No.
It's like he gets sent back like he did in No Way Home, and now it's just a continuation of like, okay, what is Toby's
He's back
doing?
afterward.
Like, I think
We find out what actually happened to him after all that. I would watch the fuck out of that because
Yeah.
then that sets up a whole new Spider-Verse with his kid.
yeah. And the thing is, like, I don't understand. Like, this is why Sony sucks a bag of dicks, right?
Just this?
Besides that, after No Way Home, you would think that they would immediately go, okay, we got Toby and we got Andrew Garfield. Let's make an Amazing Spider-Man 3. Continue on his story.
Yep.
Let's do another Spider-Man with Raimi doing freaking Toby.
Yep.
And, people aren't confused anymore because they had that movie and they go, oh, that's that Spider-Man. That's what he's doing. Oh, here's Andrew's Spider-Man. This is what he's doing. Here's the Tom Holland one in the MCU. Like, people aren't going to get confused. I would watch the shit out of those.
Hell yeah.
I want to know what happened to Toby after the fucking... It's kind of like after the blip.
After the blip, yeah.
Like, they got sent back. They got sucked into Tom Holland's universe.
And they'll remember everything that happened,
Yeah.
even though he cast that spell.
Yeah. And then leave the Tom Holland one alone. They have to do the grounded one. They're like, the big fight right now is that Feige and Marvel... They're saying, well, we want a more street-level Spider-Man with, the Daredevil and Kingpin as,
Okay.
like, the main bads, like a street-level Spider-Man, neighborhood Spider-Man.
Cool.
Sony wants to keep going with the multiverse shit. Bring Andrew back. Bring Toby back. We'll have another, No Way Home. And they're like, no, we're not doing that again. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I would love to see, as much as people shit on Multiverse of Madness, it wasn't bad. It wasn't... It's definitely not the worst.
No.
It's no Love and Thunder, but
What is?
but it's a very Raimi movie. Like when you watch
Yeah.
that movie, it's super fucking Raimi. It's got all his little tropes in it. So if you're a Sam Raimi head like we are,
Oh, Dark Man. Dark. Give me fucking Dark Man. That's what I would love to see come back. And I've always said, I don't know, never mind. I'm
That
not gonna
is-
go down this rabbit hole again.
that is prime for a remake or a reboot.
Yep.
Because that was like pre fucking comic book craze. So
Yep.
yeah, so that's the big Spider-Man news that's out there.
the big news.
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
pretty much
I don't
it.
want to. I don't want to mention that third one because it was stupid.
Oh, okay.
The Russo
Oh.
brothers. We
Yeah.
might as well. The Russo brothers gave us a status update on the live-action remake of Hercules at Disney.
Hercules.
I love that the thing that's holding it up is they're like, "Well, we're waiting for a script." Like they got a fucking script.
Yeah, that's what was. Yeah, we were watching. I'm like, well, we're waiting on a script. I'm like, watch the movie and then just do that. Maybe change things around, maybe a bit.
But see, that's the problem. Now here we go. We're going down this rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem with all of these fucking remakes, like where they do the live action. It's like, well, we got to throw our own twist on it,
Yeah.
and give you a new song and give you a new this and change this component. It's like, No, just give me the animated thing as a live action, and I'll be happy.
But then people get mad where it's like The Lion King, where it was like, okay, you just basically like redid the exact same story, kind of like Psycho when they remade Psycho. Now they redid Psycho. Everybody goofs on that one.
But it's so good.
It's not bad. The Gus Van Sant one they did. It was, but it was a shot for shot literal remake with different people. Now, if Norman Bates was black and was a woman, yeah, okay, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. But you know, like, yeah, oh yeah, and we need a Michael Keaton Batman 3.
Oh, we definitely do.
Yeah,
we need Old Man Batman.
You know what we do need actually, besides an Old Man Batman, is that. Well, he would be great for Dark Knight Returns. Like, just fucking do that already.
Fuck yeah.
Actually, the animated one is not bad. I've watched that one. They did a good job with that. I want fucking Batman Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
With freaking Keaton as Old Man Batman. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Make it happen, people. Make it happen for us fucking weirdos out there. They're fucking comic book nerds. But yeah, we can go into our next segment here. Let's I can hit that motherfucker.
Now, hold on there 1 second here, young fella. I was thinking about maybe the two of us get down in the old pickup truck corner and hit one of them movie places.
Trying to make the duck fart.
Yeah.
And eat a chunk of popcorn and check out some
Does it?
preview.
It feels like it should. ASMR. Yeah, well,
you know that's the sound of? It's the sound of me fucking. Wheezy.
Actually, I was going to say, that's the sound of me watching that new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. Look at that segue.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Skeet, everybody.
That shit was good.
Yeah, I mean, we got more, which was interesting because the first Deadpool trailer was very Deadpool. Mm-hmm. This one was very Wolverine. And there's so much speculation. People fucking deep dive into that trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the Ant-Man head. That came from this particular comic. If you look at the bottom, they're like all the X-Men villains are down there, like Toad and fucking all these other weird ones that they pulled out.
Insane.
Like,
doesn't that kind of just ruin it for you though?
it does. Like, well, I'm a sucker for that stuff. Like, of course, the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer is going to come out. I'm not going to like not watch it.
Sure.
But once it starts getting to like TV spots and stuff, now I'm like, fucking stop.
Well, but I'm saying is like, there's only so much of that, like, 72 Easter eggs
Yeah.
that you can watch. And it's like, at some point it starts to ruin it because, like, I'll never discover these things myself. And that joy of, like, watching it and seeing that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
I will say for the
It's too
fact
much.
that
I think it's become too much.
it seems like a lot of the footage that they showed in this new one is like just a part of the movie.
Right.
Like it wasn't like all over the place. I mean, there's enough stuff that you're just like, we still haven't seen him in the mask.
Right.
He's got the yellow suit, but he doesn't have the mask on yet. Apparently, it's going to be cameos galore.
Yeah.
They've been pretty good. Apparently, the news that came out this week was that the post-credit scene is quote-unquote mind-blowing. I'll believe it when I see it. Because there really is, as far as with X-Men 97, which we'll talk about a little bit in the TV section, like X-Men 97 for me has just been really hitting fire on all cylinders. It makes me want the live-action X-Men so much quicker. But I don't think that's going to happen till like 26, 27.
No.
Probably.
Not.
So they can't really throw in an X-Men Easter like
A big Easter egg at the end
like
of this.
here's fucking Rogue, They were talking like Kiki Palmer, she wants to play Rogue. I'm like, that's interesting.
Okay.
The girl from Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like, that'd be cool.
That'd be
she
great.
has the southern accent, like the southern drawl. So they can't really like throw an X-Men. Well, they threw Beast in fucking Marvels.
Yeah, but they're throwing multiverse stuff into this.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get a Doctor Doom. Maybe we'll get a fucking, maybe we'll get something.
I'll take
But
it.
I mean, what do you think of the trailer? Just freaking mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said,
it seems like
sometimes I watch the trailers, and especially with this one, everything I thought I knew from the other trailer, I'm like, wait, no, okay, maybe it's something else going on here. I get what the movie's going to be about, and that sometimes ruins it too, is like, do I know too much? I'm always worried that, like, I've seen everything I need to see from the trailers, so there's going to be nothing really, like, left come movie time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of like that, like we talked about No Way Home. Like
Right.
we all, like before we even walked in, it was like we knew Toby and Andrew were going to be in
Yep.
it, just because people were like, see this, and there should have been people here, and you could totally tell that there's supposed to be 3, and it's going to be that, and you know, Andrew Garfield's a big fat fucking liar because he keeps saying he's not in it, but we always like, I'm not in it. We're like, okay, you're in it. So yeah, I mean, luckily, believe it or not, it's only coming out in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to stay.
It's July, right?
Yeah, end of July, like July 26th.
Okay.
So
I think I'll be away.
Oh, really? Nah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
I
out.
think that's when I'm going to Dallas.
Oh, Dallas.
I know Houston. I'm going to Houston where there's nothing to do. I told Kate that there's fucking 4 Bucky's like within 20 minutes of where we're gonna be.
I still haven't decided where to put my Bucky sticker that you gave me. I'm like, I haven't, just on the side. Like, where do I put it on?
When it speaks to you,
It does. It does. So yeah, I mean, what's more to say about Deadpool and Wolverine?
Wow.
It just
Then there's
we don't know what Wolverine this is. Apparently Wolverine
apparently
fucked
Wolverine,
up something.
a Wolverine from a universe where he fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how you bring Hugh Jackman in as Wolverine. You fucking
Yeah.
he's from another universe. He's not one of the ones you've seen yet.
And then it's like maybe he'll do a Toby and kind of go back to his old universe after it's fixed, and now we got to get a new Wolverine. I still like the casting of Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because he's short.
He's short.
and he's fucking jacked as fuck.
He can get all freaking scruffy.
Yep.
I'm all for that.
I'm
one.
all in for that.
Well, that's the other one. In the first trailer, they show.
Oh my god!
They show the white
what if
suit.
That's the extra scene at the end. That's mind blowing. Is Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine to introduce him as, hey, I'm the alternate, like I'm your universe Wolverine.
Kind of like the fucking George Clooney at the end of The Flash.
No, God, no.
That was horrible. The more and more I think about that movie, at first I was like, that was a good movie, and now I'm like, the more I see it, like on HBO, I'm like, that's a piece of shit.
The Flash movie?
The Flash,
Oh,
yeah.
I hated it from the get-go.
Really? I was still sucked in. I call it the Rise of Skywalker syndrome. Like when I walked out of Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, that was really good. That was great. It was great. Then the more you watch it, you're like, they fly now? They fly now. Yeah, they've been flying since the Clone Wars, you fucking idiot. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Well, we'll wait till we get to the movie section because, I didn't walk out of the movie I went to see going like, that was fucking really good.
Really? Oh, well, we do have one more trailer to talk about.
Yes, we do.
You sent this to me. Wait, don't block the chat, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we don't know who's talking.
Nobody's talking.
All
right
right,
now.
good.
I sent you the message, hey, we need some fat Russell Crowe.
Which to me, I always say, you always need fat Russell Crowe.
I feel like this movie is it's called The Exorcism. And it feels like this is the making of The Pope's Exorcist.
Pass it on.
Pass it on.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I'm like, okay, fat Russell Crowe. Which is funny because I talk about that came up with Zoe when we watched that movie Unhinged, whatever it was, the one where he was fat Russell Crowe. That's the first sighting of him. All my daughter knows is fat Russell Crowe. She's never seen. I had to put on a scene from
She's
Gladiator.
never seen Hot Russell Crowe.
No, I put on a thing of Gladiator. I'm like, see, this is what he actually used to look like, and she was like, shit, really? I'm like,
Yeah.
He hasn't been fat his whole life. I'm like, no, he's actually been
it's
jacked.
like Marlon Brando.
Yeah, he's been quite handsome.
He's the modern Marlon Brando. You heard it here. Russell Crowe is the modern Marlon Brando.
Almost the opposite of like when Violet, for a brief period a couple of years ago, was obsessed with Rocky IV, and she loved Dolph Lundgren. Like she was like, oh, Drago, look at it. So, oh my God, look at all them muscles. She was, and I was like, do you want to see what he looks like now? And I showed her, and she's like, aw.
Well, I sent you this with that trailer or the fake conversation of, hey, you want to go see a Russell Crowe movie? Exorcism movie? The Pope's Exorcist. I'll wait for you to do the other one.
Oh, you want me to do that? Okay. The Pope's Exorcist? Is it on Netflix or something?
No, the new movie, The Exorcism.
Don't you mean The Exorcist Believer, the sequel to the classic with Linda Blair?
No, it's a brand new movie, The Exorcism. It has nothing to do with either The Exorcist or the Pope's Exorcist.
I'm confused. Can we just watch Furiosa instead?
Because that's what this fucking movie is.
End scene. Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting.
The whole premise of the movie is he's an actor. And he gets called to do this role as a priest in an exorcism movie. And the fact that like his daughter's like, aren't you nervous? Every movie like this is cursed and something bad happens.
Yeah, he just played the Pope's Exorcist. Pass it on.
Maybe this is all the outtakes.
I don't know. Russell Crowe.
know.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Did you mean to rhyme that? I don't know, Russell Crowe.
I don't know, Russell Crowe. Maybe that's the name of the title of the episode. I don't know, Russell Crowe.
I don't know, Russell Crowe.
I don't know, fat Russell Crowe.
I'm going to put it down now.
No, put it down now. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that was pretty much it with the two. I mean, obviously, the Deadpool Wolverine one, everybody's freaking jizzing their pants over. The Exorcism, not so much. I don't know, fat Tussle Crowe.
Oh, I'll tussle.
Tussle his hair. I'm like, The Exorcism.
How will you explain that?
I don't know how you explain that.
I don't know, fat Russell Crowe. That's it.
Oh, Pedro. But yeah, so let's get into our next segment, movies, which you did see a new one.
I did see a new movie.
I did another late to the party, like super late to the party, which I just remembered when we were talking. I was like, shit, I saw that movie.
Well, we went, of course, Kat and I did the Monday Mystery movie at Regal Cinemas, but there is none this week in the upcoming weeks. I feel like they're doing all these. Kate and Mila went to go see the 45th anniversary of Alien.
Oh, that's right.
They went the other night, and they're also doing at the same time, my boy, Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, the 25th anniversary reissue of that. I know. My brother should take his wife. I'm sure she hasn't seen it. She was too young when it came out.
Yeah.
Take it as a compliment, Ed. Take it as a compliment.
Dude, Ed, man, just like myself. Upgrade.
Oh, shit. I don't think anybody in my family's listening, so we should be safe with that.
I think so. It's all right, though. Don't worry about it.
We went to the Monday Mystery movie, and we're very happy that it was Boy Kills World.
Yes, which I heard it ate a giant turd at the box office.
Yeah, and I can kind of, because I didn't walk out going like that thing was a giant turd, but I didn't walk out going that was a fucking awesome movie. It was good.
Yeah.
It played, so the premise is he's out to get revenge on this woman who apparently killed his mother and sister, killed his family, and made him deaf and cut out his tongue so he couldn't talk.
Okay.
He's trained by this guy that's called the Shaman in the woods.
Ooh.
And teaches him to be basically a killer so he can get revenge.
Okay.
It's narrated like because he can't talk.
It's like inner monologue. I notice he's just talking.
And it's in the voice of this, like he played this video game. The guy's like, ready, fight. Like it's supposed to be like Street Fighter, but it's the voice of that video game that narrates everything.
It does look very Street Fighter-ish.
And it plays very much like the bad story behind one of those Street Fighter type video games.
Okay.
Where it's like, you killed my family, I must get my revenge, and you have to battle all these people to get to that like last boss. I'll save the spoilers if Justin's on.
Yeah,
because Justin gets mad at me for spoilers, so I'm not gonna spoil the real story. But it plays like a video game, like one of those cheesy video game. What's the story behind the video game Contra?
Kind of like when The Rock made that piece of shit movie Rampage. Like, really?
Yeah, but like the video game. Yeah, like what's the story behind those? Like, there's not a real story. It's just a video game, and it with a really bad, weak story. And this was a very weak story, but there was a lot of fighting. There's a lot of punching. You like those fast action scenes and the fights and the
pretty
goofy
bloody
humor,
too, right? Like very
blood.
violent.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it for all that. I'll give it a solid 3 pals.
Okay,
solid 3.
That's a respectable.
And I will
score.
rewatch it.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a movie that like would be awesome, like on HBO. Like you have a stomach bug on a Sunday, you're like, "Fuck, Boy Meets World." Boy Meets World. Boy Kills World. That's a totally different one. What the fuck?
Boy Meets World, and then there's Boy Eats World.
Yeah,
but
what the hell was the name of that bitch that was in it? I don't remember.
But
she had the weird name in Boy Meets World.
Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up. But there was something I was gonna say. Shit.
Don't worry about it.
You said watch it on a Saturday.
Yeah, like a Saturday. Like you got say you're doing prep for a colonoscopy. You got something to do. Watch Boy Kills World. So you can do a lot less. What was her name? God damn it.
Topanga.
Topanga.
Well, wasn't that Tia and Topanga on fucking Disney?
Well, no, they ended up doing like a spin-off kind of thing. She was in it. I don't know. Who the fuck cares?
Who fucking cares?
It's Disney Channel. Just watch
Manal,
Quiet.
Topanga. Of course you're woman. there.
Topanga.
Topanga was her name on Boy Meets World. Kevin for the win.
Oh, quick one there. Yeah. So,
I really did enjoy it. I would suggest it. That's what I was gonna say. I'm sure it's gonna wind up like we were talking about earlier. Argyle that bombed in the theaters, but
Yeah.
now on streaming, it's fucking everybody's watching. It's like top of all the streaming charts.
yeah, it'll do well. Like I was excited to see that Late Night with the Devil is doing awesome on streaming. Yeah, I remember both of you guys. Oh yeah, on the side of the stage. Yep. Oh yeah, that's when that's another
Back in the days when I was young.
God damn it, we're old.
where we left Walter there. He was so drunk, and I look over at the side of the stage while Rob's band's playing with my brother, and I'm like looking over, and I'm like, is that tobacco on the stage? He just puked all over the place. And Walter's like, and then we looked at Mike, and we're like, hey, Mike, you live near Walter, right? He's like, yeah. We're like, you take him home, and we left.
Have fun.
Poor Walter. Yeah. So my movie.
Oh, gimme.
Was it was a super duper late to the party, but I was sitting at home watching, and I'm like, I've never seen this movie before. Oh, I got a little.
Now look, we know that's not the sound coming out of your butthole.
More like that. That was a sound, but deadly. I saw Nightcrawler.
Oh, okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
For some reason,
I watched that.
it was really, really
it
good.
was.
I mean, he was a fucking weirdo in that movie. Like, I like him as an actor, and that whole thing of like, I'm just gonna get a camera and start filming all these grotesque, and then all the money and stuff, and like he got super popular, and it was really, I was like, it was one of those movies where like people talk about it all the time, and I'm like, why did I ever see this movie? It was really, really good.
I think that was one of those movies that just kind of flew below the radar. Like, it was talked about, but not really pushed.
Yeah, I mean, the basic story is just that, like, he's just a scam artist. He's just, like, a guy on the street, and he sees, like, a car accident and somebody filming it, and he decides, like, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe that's my way in. So he starts selling all these different things, and then, all of a sudden, hijinks ensue. But, yeah, it was a solid movie, but it was one that, like, you hear people talk all the time.
Boy.
What boy?
Dan Gilroy.
Oh, that's right.
It's
right.
Dan
Dan Gilroy
Gilroy
and a Tony Gilroy.
Yep.
The Gilroys wrote that one. Yep. Yeah, and I was surprised. I was like, oh shit, and then I was like,
that was fuck, man. We're fucked. We're fucked.
He starts going into houses and like afterburners and like, I got there first. You're like, you might want to fucking send this to the police. Like
Bill Paxton.
Oh, game over, man.
Game over. We're fucked.
Yeah, you got Bill Paxton in it. You got Rene Russo.
Russo.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. It was a really good movie. It was Razan. Oh yeah, he's the guy who plays like his little like. He figures out that like interns. He's like, you could be an intern. What does that mean? I don't pay you, but you learn from what he was just very, he was very unhinged, very weird. First Omen, I have not seen that yet, but I heard it's really good. I do want to see it.
I do too.
That and is it Immaculate? That other one they're kind of similar. Just like it's just Catholic priests, nuns.
I don't know if I think it's shared on our Facebook page, but Justin saw that one fucking movie. Did you read his review?
I saw he did a review of Monkey Man.
No, he also did a movie review, what Kristen Stewart movie.
Oh, Love Lies Bleeding or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, no.
Was there a lot of scissoring going on?
Stop it.
Oh yeah.
Well, he does trash Kristen Stewart and how bad of an actress and how like one dimensional she is as an actress. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, she's never been a good actress.
She's never been interesting.
The only thing she was good in was The Runaways, the movie about the Runaways with Joan, and she played Joan Jett. She looked just like Joan Jett.
Oh yeah,
and she was good in that.
She was good in that. That's it.
Not to be confused with the Michael J. Fox Joan Jett Light of Day, which we talked about. Great movie. I actually have friends that were like, "Oh shit, I haven't seen that in forever. I'm gonna have to watch it." So yeah, those were the two movies that we had. TV wise.
I only got one new TV.
Yeah,
I was desperate.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about your little TV experience? I'll tell you mine.
I watched Netflix Dead Boy Detectives. Look, make fun of me all you want.
You watch some shit, man.
It is some shit. It is some shit. Look, I'll be quick. It's just these two dead kids. They're supposed to be teenagers.
They're dead, you see.
One died in like 1912, the other in 1980, and they go around solving mysteries about dead people so that they can move on. Or sometimes it's living people that are getting killed, and they have to figure out what it is that's killing them so they can save them from being killed.
It's like the Kirkland version of The Crow.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Really quick. Yes. So, I mean, I like it. I like that kind of campy, stupid fucking
It's brain
teen
candy.
after school, know, I'm going home and watching, Kicking It or whatever the fuck.
I'm saying, when we used to live together way, way, way back in the day, you used to love the CW shows, Charmed
CW
and
shows.
all that shit. We're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know your dirty little secret. That's my dirty little secret.
That's okay. Look, I'm a huge Culture Club fan. It happens.
And I
all
will
right?
say, I know a while back I talked about watching that show Beacon 23 with the woman who played Cersei on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Season 1 was really, really good. Very, good story. Season 2. Should call it Season Snoo. Because I swear to God, every episode, the phone factor on Season 2 is 90%.
Wow. Okay.
There's no main thing going on.
That's
they've lost me. They've really, I stopped watching that show Parish with Juan Carlos.
Oh,
Esposito.
yeah.
It just got. I'm like, why? I don't give a shit about this.
Too much Juan. You got too much Juan. As much as I love him, he'll always be bugging out to me.
Yeah.
But fucking, yo, how much you pay for those Jordans? $100, $108 with tax. How come there's no brothers on the wall?
So that's my TV.
Yeah, the only new TV I had was I did start watching the Thank You Good Night, which is the Bon Jovi freaking documentary 4-parter. Wow.
Who cares that much about Bon Jovi? Anybody?
Well, here's a weird thing about Bon Jovi.
Please, tell
they
me.
were huge, obviously, the Slippery When Wet and all that stuff. That was right in my punk rock fucking skinhead hardcore days where I'm like, fuck these fucking weird, I don't want to say the freaking derogatory word, but,
Okay.
But then as later on, I appreciated just like the 80s metal, they got some good songs and they're catchy and whatever. And, you can't deny, and it was interesting. I got about, there's 4 episodes. I got about an episode and a half in. I'm right when they just releasing Slippery When Wet, right? So it was interesting how much when you watch the early days of Bon Jovi about how, he was a very determined guy. He wasn't apparently he wasn't a good singer, but he took vocal lessons and he has a presence. He's a handsome looking dude. And then he wrote this song, and it was surprising that he's very, everybody says, I used to always goof, when you move into Jersey, they give you a copy of Born to Run and Slippery When Wet, right? That's just what you get. But that...
Justin, is this true? When you moved to Jersey from New York, did they give you both of those?
Yeah, they give you a copy of Slippery When Wet, Born to Run. They also give you a Wawa card. And, simple things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Bouncing Souls, fucking the best Jersey band ever. Overkill, Jersey band, right? But that whole area, when he was growing up, he would go to the Stone Pony, and Bruce Springsteen was always there. Southside Johnny and the Amboy Dukes, I think it was.
Okay.
But when you listen to those 3 artists, even Bruce, and it's very similar. It's that Jersey, South Jersey Shore sound. You're like, oh, okay. So, it got pretty, and what they keep flashing back to the story of how they started in the beginning and then how they're going now. Because apparently 2022, it was pretty well documented that they did a couple of shows, 2 weeks of shows, and John's voice was not, people were like, what the fuck happened? He's just sounds horrible, and they're tuning way down and whatever. But they show he's been having serious vocal problems, and they show of course he's complaining, I'm really tired, and he's 60 years old at this point. But look at fucking Bruce. Bruce still sounds great, and he's still doing it.
Didn't he have throat cancer too, Bruce?
Did he have throat cancer? I don't remember.
Bruce Dickinson, right?
No, not Bruce Dickinson. We're talking about Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen. Wow, he's fucking Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, but
You sing like this. He sings like a grumpy old man.
Yeah, but if you listen to Bruce and you listen to Bon Jovi, it's very similar. And even Bruce gives him, like, he's in the documentary. He's giving him all props. Like, yeah, this kid, he came out, he had talent, and he was, was going to go, he's a star. And how the band was just basically formed. And it's just really interesting because the struggles that he went through, like, when 2022, they were going to do this big thing because 2023 was like the 40th anniversary of the band, and they were going to do this big thing. Richie Sambora was talking about, and I fucking love Richie Sambora. He's just, they show him in the beginning of the second episode. He's like, and they all sound like they're from the fucking Sopranos at this point. They're just like, what are we doing with this thing? We're gonna tell the truth? We're gonna lie? What are we doing? Like that. He's got his own shirt open. He's like, what the fuck are we doing? He sounds like Johnny Van Zandt.
I might have to watch this now.
It's actually pretty interesting. If how I'm always interested in how bands work, but like they show the 2022 version. Like in the beginning, he's doing like he's doing a vocal coach. He's got all these different sprays, and he's doing like a laser thing on to relax his vocal cords, and he's got chiropractors, and he's got all this shit, and they're just doing rehearsals. And the first gig, they're like, oh, it was great, they were huge. But by like day 12, he was just like, you just see him like collapse on the floor. He's like, I sounded like shit. I can't do this. So like his big thing now is that they got a new album coming out. Like we joked about like, how many people are in Bon Jovi? It was like 6.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy who plays percussion, and they introduce you to all these people.
Jesus.
Like who they are and what they, what they're doing or
I
whatever.
gotta give all my buddies jobs.
Yeah, seriously. It's like the fucking, it's so funny how you don't think of Bon Jovi and the Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band, how they influenced each other. Right. I mean, not that Bruce influenced. Bruce definitely was an influence to Bon Jovi, not the other way. I mean, kind of the other way around. But yeah, it's so far it's so good. By next week, I'll definitely finish it. But it was like, I
look forward to it.
They talk about how they met Doc McGee and he's a fucking joker. But he's smart as hell because there was this one thing where Bon Jovi, it was like their first album, and they got an offer to open up for ZZ Top at MSG. And they were like, oh my God, of course we got to do it, blah, 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 blah. And they met Doc McGee. Doc was kind of like, the managers and the record labels were all creeping around, once Runaway came out. And Doc was like, Doc's like, I think it's a bad idea if you open up for ZZ Top. They're like, dude, it's fucking Madison Square Garden. Of course we're going to do it. We're going to do it, blah, 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 blah. They went out and they ate a bag of dicks.
Oh, God.
They sounded horrible. And, the guitar didn't work, and they were inexperienced. They hadn't played a show like that.
Oh.
And Doc McGee, who's managed The Crew, Bon Jovi, Kiss, all these guys, he's like, I don't think it's a good idea to do it. And they're like, fuck you, we're going to do it. And then they ate a bag of dicks, and they came back, and he goes, see, I told you. And then they signed to him immediately. And we're like, he knows what he's talking about. So it's really interesting. I mean, as much as people goof on Doc McGee, like, the guy knows his shit. I mean, look at the bands he does. So, yeah, if you're into bands and how to figure, I highly recommend it. But, yeah, that was my big rant on the Bon Jovi.
Yeah, but it goes right into your music.
It certainly does.
Oh, I got to play your song.
Watch the musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Grant's Music News.
That's the sound I make. That's the sound I make when you got me face down on the pillow, big boy.
That's right. I'm very excited about this blue duck. Music news right now. No big rants. Nothing really crazy as far as like ranting goes on the music stuff. Although we are going to talk about. Wow. So
let's start at the bottom of the barrel.
You want to start bottom of the barrel? Okay.
Bottom of the barrel. Start off. Leave me on a good note.
All right. So, hey kids, let's just put this out.
Can I help you, sir? Yes, what is this? Huh? This is whack. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I thought you were dead.
I wish they were dead.
Guys, Motley Crue has a new song out.
Why?
Dogs of War, I think it's called. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What a stinker.
I won't. Look, I love the Crue, man. They were great, but like They retired 5 years ago, and
Yeah.
they came back. Vince can't sing. Vince never could really sing.
No.
But now he really can't sing. There's no McMars. You got John Five, who's an amazing guitar player.
Okay.
He's doing a great job on tour. They come out with this single, Dogs of War. It's heavy.
Wait, is it a cover that Pink Floyd song?
That's a great song,
It's a
Dogs
great
of War.
fucking song.
But
Speaking of Pink Floyd in the music news, go
it's I watched the video and I listened to the song. I was like, all right, I'm gonna judge it on its own merits. It's heavy. It's not horrible, but the lyrics are so fucking generic. And Nikki Sixx has been known to write good lyrics.
It's cookie cutter.
It is just like paint by numbers. It reminded me of when Kiss came out with that Psycho Circus album where they were just like, okay, so we have to have a Spacey Ace song. We have to have a Demon Gene song. We have to have a fucking Peter Criss ballad. Like, they just went by the numbers. This is like, and the people in the video, like, they must have done some fucking trickery on Vince Neil because they make him look like he's a rail. He is not a rail. He is he's like my weight. Jesus Christ. You know, like, it just looks
We need
so...
a body double for Vince. Greg's
Yeah.
like, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Bigger! You know, like...
You could probably sing better.
Yeah, exactly. We all heard my rendition of that other song. Yeah, oh God, I don't know.
It hurts. I can see the pain in your face right now.
It does, just because it's like, I love that when old bands come out with new music, because it's like, it might not sell platinum like it used to, but they're still creating. If it's not big, who cares?
This is why,
This
this
is
is why I'm
like-
glad Kurt Cobain died when he did. I know I'm going to hell for that one, but
Yeah.
but he never became this.
Yeah.
He never even had a chance to become this.
People might say that people, are, usually when you die, you become these legends, but,
Yeah.
Because you never got to see the bad part of it. Like,
Yep.
we're all watching Bon Jovi documentaries about him with gray hair, freaking,
Taking
still
fucking Cialis.
still kind of full of himself, but he seems more happy. Like, he's, it's
Yeah,
definitely
if I had
better.
half of his money, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Other than that,
Not that I'm unhappy, Gregory.
Yeah.
Speaking of cover,
Yeah, there was a lot of covers. We did put 2 more covers on the, which, by the way, the Hey Pal, What's New 2024 playlist on Spotify. If you want to hear all these songs, judge for yourself.
that's where I get my
Go
new
listen to them.
favorites from.
Yeah, so there was a cover for that movie, The Fall Guy. That's coming out.
Which I can't wait for.
Yeah, that looks really, really good. And I came across this because I do follow this artist called Youngblood.
Youngblood.
Not like too crazy familiar with his songs, but he tends to be a big positive influence. He's he's got.
I think I'm okay. That's his big song.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 6.1 million listeners.
He's got to be doing something right then.
Yeah, and I follow him on TikTok and stuff, and those where it's like, oh, he's got some good songs. He put out a cover of "I Was Made for Loving You" by Kiss. I played it for you before we went on air. I'm like, it's really
fucking
good.
good.
The guy could really sing. He did great justice for it.
Yep. And I totally picture, especially after watching the trailers and stuff, totally picture that version of that song being in the movie.
And we did talk before we went on mic too about how Dynasty, everybody goofs on it because it's Disco Kiss. Dude, that fucking album rocks.
It's so good.
You got freaking 10,000 Man or whatever, 2,000 Man. You got freaking Dirty Livin'. I mean, there's so many good songs on that album. But anyway, I digress. So definitely check that out. And then there was another cover that came out by, of all people, the Angry Samoans.
Yeah, where have they been?
They haven't put out anything. I mean,
When was the last time they put something out?
back since the 80s. I think the last one was, they did a cover of Highway to Hell too? Jesus Christ. STP, not LSD.
STP, not LSD. But that was their last album back in 1988.
88, yeah.
In 2002, they put out the Highway to Hell cover, and now
2024, another brick in the wall, part two. Look, I mean, we talked about it before. Angry Samoans.
You think? I don't care. I'm gonna just go fast forward into it.
We don't need no education. We don't need no control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom.
Sounds just, they haven't missed a beat.
It's so appropriate that if he's still on right now, it's so appropriate that Lovi's here for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because fucking, I think of those punk days. Those are the things I think of as like you Walter, Rob, like
Yeah.
that whole.
And Lovi always had his pulse on the
yeah.
what was good. Like he introduced us to a lot of really good bands, like freaking Killing Joke and Gang of Four and all those bands. So yeah, big ups to the man. Yeah, there was that. Other than that, there's been a lot of new full length albums actually. Except Humanoid is out. They're still putting out albums with that little guy from TT Quick. It's pretty rocking. They haven't put out, the last couple albums with him. They haven't really missed a beat. So if you're into that Accept stuff, I mean, it's not Midnight Mover or freaking Fast as a Shark, but it's good stuff. Another full length album that came out was we talked about this band, Deicide.
Yes,
Banished by Sin. If you love death metal, you can't go wrong with them. It's like the big four, I would say, would be Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Death, and Possessed, maybe.
Okay.
Those are the four that I'm like, they're the big ones. Glenn Benton, I mean, he's got the burnt upside down cross on his head he's had for years. People are giving him a lot of shit because I guess the album cover, which looked really cool.
This is Accept?
No, this is Deicide.
Deicide, sorry.
It was AI generated. And Glenn Benton is just like,
did I get that right?
Yep, that's them. Yeah, look at that cover. You're like, oh man, that's a freaking devil cover.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, he's like, that's exactly what Glenn. It was like, you used the AI cover. He's like, fuck you, I don't care. Like it looks cool. But the album's good. I mean, if you're into death metal, man, you can't go wrong. And they always do put out some freaking wacky videos, man. There's what's that one? Bury the Cross with Your Christ.
Whoa, easy
Failures
there.
of Your Dying Lord. What they put one out that's Sever the Tongue. They have a video for that. It is straight up horror. It's crazy. It's basically the singer running. He's got a bunch of priests all tied up in like a circle, and he's cutting out their tongues. It's pretty wild stuff. It's kooky, wild, wacky stuff. And then there's a lot of what else was there? There was a lot of re-releases. Pyromania has a super deluxe edition. That album's been out 40 fucking years, dude. That album is great. I mean, not the ones that they play 150 gazillion times. Freaking Stage Fright. I'll post it. I mean, you forget for all the Photographs and the Foolins and Rock of Ages, which are great songs. You got Stage Fright. You got Too Late for Love. Die Hard, The Hunter. Billy's Got a Gun. I mean, they're fucking great songs. I mean, if you didn't, Pyromania and Metal Health by Quiet Riot, if you didn't have those two albums when you were a kid, you might as well have been wearing a dress. It's like, what happened to you? Where'd you go?
Oh, no, I put me in the corner. Greg's on his soapbox. I'm listening.
Oh, yeah, I'm yelling at clouds.
No, you're not.
So that and another classic album got re-released. It's Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. Man, that's why not?
I guess.
I mean, Billy Idol's freaking, oh, right. Angry Samoans. Yeah, dude, back from Samoa. My Old Man's a Fatso, Gas Chamber.
Old Man's a Fatso.
That's a great song. My
song.
Old Man's a Fatso. He's got a pot belly for a mouth. My old man's a fatso, but he owns this house. Soup. It sounds
when punks were punks and skins were skins.
And the only chick in the audience had a shaved head. Thank you, Shagger Dave. Got to give credit. But that's really it. I mean, there's been some other stuff. I mean, there's another great, if you're into like thrash and metal, there's a band called 200 Stab Wounds.
Oh.
I'm going to put that song on the playlist actually this second. They have a single out called Hands to Eternity that's really good. I forgot about this band, and then they popped up on my Discover. And then,
Discover this.
More Knocked Loose. I think that's pretty much it on the music stuff, yeah. But it's been super busy with the re-releases and singles, which tends to be the way to go.
Well, hopefully next week's episode I'll have some stories from the zoo.
The zoo, yeah. And we're not talking about that I don't want to say they're bad, but they're the cover band, The Zoo.
I don't know the cover band, The Zoo.
You never heard of The Zoo?
No.
They were pretty popular back in the... we keep hitting this today. They're still around, The Zoo. They're kind of like the Benjamins. They're huge. Like the Nerds. They
The Nerds I know.
Everybody knows the Nerds, but like,
How come you didn't put your album on the new releases here?
That was last week.
Oh, I had a song come up this week on mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look.
It came out the 19th.
Search new releases. Your release radar. Oh.
Show
Right there,
the
3
world you
days
can.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so far the album has been
And
doing...
look, what's that over there? What's that over there?
It's an add to playlist.
I already checked it.
Well,
You're on my playlist.
You're the best. You and about 5 other people. No, actually,
That's more people than will fuck me.
I looked at the first week's streams and I was pleasantly surprised. It's doing pretty well. So thank you, everybody
good.
who's checking it out. Hopefully, I put a big rant on Facebook about I don't know if I'm going to be doing these songs live or what the status of the Critically Ashamed is or cover bands booked till fucking October.
Good.
So the Splits are playing great, and we have this. This is my favorite
Yeah.
thing to do. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll, I'd love to play some of these songs live, but we'll see. I'll be coming to a shed near you. I'm kind of over I'm in my 50s now, and I sound like Bon Jovi, but like, who wants to play a fucking Tuesday night to 5 people? I don't want to do it. If it's a good show, I'll do it. I'd love to do a big production show, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, this may be your favorite thing to do. But
What's
my
that?
favorite thing to do